Okay.
Okay, good evening. We're going to do a couple of minutes on tonight's game, and then we're going to preview our last game, which is Sunday, and that will have an embargo of 1:30 tomorrow lunchtime on it to preview the Newcastle game. We'll start on tonight's fixture. Who wants to kick things off?
Frank, you've spoken a lot about what the team can get out of these last games, but it doesn't seem to make any difference to the results. What's your feeling as you deal with an undefeated Escort?
My personal feeling? I don't think it's about my personal feeling. I think it's probably about the reality of where we're at. And I've said it a lot going into the game when things are off for a period, which has been the season for us. You can trace it back to probably pre-season, and then it's not easy to turn it. And then when you go into a running against top clubs that are going for something, nothing's a given in this game. So I think mixed feelings. We played okay in parts today. There were some individual performances within the game which I think can be nice shoots for the future if they're worked on. But of course the reality is when you come to Manchester United, how clinical they are in front of goal, how non-clinical we were, how we defended individually poorly in the second half, then the result can come.
Neil?
Obviously, there were some bad performances today. And in the end, one has to ask, are some of these players good enough?
Well, it's a question I think that as a professional at the top level will be asked of you in a period of bad form. And your only way to answer that is to answer it with your performance. And it starts, as I've said before, with how you work and how you train and how you prepare. And if I'm honest, collectively, that's been the thing that was quite glaringly short by as a collective. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that. So that's not just an aimless dig. That's because there are sometimes variables. It's been a tough season. People talk about the squad size, things that are very valid. But at the same time, coming in this short period, you can see that when a group is training and it's really together and it's pushing each other and those things, then good things come. And you as the individual improve within that. And at the moment, that momentum is not there. It's clear. So it doesn't matter. When I get asked, why did you play back five? That gets analysed. You go, well, play back four, and people have to defend with responsibility individually much more. That's modern football. You can see some shortcomings. So this is not a tactical thing, and it's not been a tactical thing since I've been here. It's been more about assessing where the group are. Can you help individuals within it? And I don't want to throw a blanket because there's some individuals I think performed quite well tonight and will improve and will get better. And there isn't a huge stability at the minute in the team and in the squad. So whereas players previous years would have come in and had time to find their own way, now they're given time to come on and make a difference, and it's not easy. So there's a lot to it rather than to sort of generally kind of go, this is not good enough. But of course, results for Chelsea this season, not good enough.
Quickly, because we're going to do that tonight.
There's been a lot of talk about the squad being bloated. But when I look at it, I see the technical department is more bloated than the squad. Are you confident that Chelsea is the right structure to go forward?
I feel like you're making statements rather than asking questions. I'm not gonna comment on that. That's why I'm here to comment on the squad more than anything. And in the short time, I have good relations with people at the club because it's a short period. We all knew what it was, and I think we all know we want to be better. As it goes on now, those decisions will be for people to make. In terms of the squad, that's what I really care about, and I think there's talent in the squad. But it was another reality day today. When you look at the emphatic nature of Manchester United at the top end of the pitch compared to us, and when you look at some of the experience they have and announce at the back end of the pitch to make the right decision at the right time, that's that is the situation, and it's going to take work to change that.
Okay, last one on tonight, Simon.
Great. Obviously, most of the damage was done before you even arrived. In terms of looking for optimism and your fans, does looking at Ten Hag and the job he's done here, and sort of someone that's going full pre-season, whoever to come to, I think he's cost here, can Ten Hag and what he's done here act as some sort of optimism that if you get it right, you can sort of turn it into email?
I don't know. I think it's really hard to compare, Simon. I think it's really, really tough that because it's not for me to analyse where Manchester United were or to where they are now. I think they've got fantastic players, and Rashford must score 30 goals this year or something. They've got Varane's experience at the back. They've got Fernandes, who's been here and is, we know what level of player he is. I think you can go through their team and find a real stability still within their team. You can bring Casemiro in, who brings instant experience. There are a lot of factors with it that are not just the manager. They're the club. So I don't think it's a comparison. Of course, you should be optimistic. We should look for pluses. We should look for the future being more positive than what it's been this season. That's clear. But I don't think it's one to compare, because every situation is different. And I think we have to go step by step to look at the big picture rather than just, well, the manager may change this.
One man can't. It's bigger than just.
For sure. And I'm not taking anything away from the job that Erik's done or any top manager does, because that's that's it. That's top coaches. But at the same time, there has to be basics. There has to be fundamentals. I remember when Ten Hag first came at the start of the season, people were talking about his discipline and his fines and his law and Ronaldo and all these situations that set the standard and the tone of how you go forward. That's nothing to do with the individuals. That comes after the event. So I think those things are probably where this club has probably had a positive upturn. And then, as I say, sometimes the players in a good structure will do the rest for you. And I think they've had a good season in that part.
Okay, right, we're stopping there.